So hello guys, this is Manjose once again from Manjose Electro Hive, where we talk tech, passion and service. So today I'm going to be showing you guys how an internet search happens. When you type in a keyword in Google search engine, what happens? How is that information that you want accessed in a very small miniature time lag, probably like milliseconds, so it's very fast. This right here happens very fast. So before I actually explain this, let me take you guys through these common terms that are used in web development or web when you study web. So a URL, uniform resource locator, is a string of characters that provides a way to locate and access a resource on the internet. So this is basically a view of a URL, as you guys can see on that web page. So you can see here, this is a URL as well. HTTPS stands for the protocol by which the information is sent to the server and accessed. So this is a domain name. The example here represents the organization, the name of the organization that owns the link. Then you have these other parts that are separated by slashes are the file path. So here, these two here, actually, as you can see, are the transmission protocols that are used in web, transmission of data in web, in the internet. So you have the hypertext transfer protocol, which defines how data is transmitted between a web server and a web client. For this case, you can take a web browser as an example of a web client. So the HTTPS is a more secure version of the HTTP and uses the SSL and the TLS encryption to protect data that is being transmitted between the web server and the web client. So the HTTP basically is we see this commonly every time we're making a Google search. In most cases you have HTTPS when we're dealing with organizations that want to protect their data. So you have e-commerce and the online banking. So in HTTPS, as I'm going to see, I'm going to explain it. So the IP-TCP, you have the internet protocol and the TCP transmission control protocol, protocols that are used in the internet for communication in the internet, let me say. So the IP, the internet protocol, routes data packets to the destination server so it ensures that the data that we're sending reaches its particular destination. So the TCP ensures that the data is transmitted reliably and in the correct order. So now let's see and understand how this is actually happening. So when you type in your information in your Google search bar, whatever information you're going to type in here, and you click on the search bar, on the search button, what you're going to see is, what is going to happen is the Google is going to bring in a couple of suggestions, blue hyperlinks to different pages that you're going to click on. So now you're going to click on one of those and it's going to the one of the blue hyperlinks. So when you just tap on it, now the browser sends a request to the DNS server. The browser sends a request to the DNS server asking for the IP address. The IP address is basically the location of the information that you want to access. So the DNS server sends back that IP address to the web browser. Now on the web browser then sends an HTTP request to the web server. Now here on the web server, once a web server has received your request from the web browser, it then sends a response to the web browser. So this response will be now hypertext, which can be plain text, as I said, plain text, audio, video, and so many things. So that will be just the web page. So the web page will basically have the hypertext. It can be plain text, it can be videos, it can be audio, it can be anything. So the web server then gives the web browser the access to that information. So in HTTPS, when you're using the secure version of HTTP, what happens is, after asking for the IP address and it's sent to the browser first ensures a secure connection is made between the browser and the web server, or the web client and the web server. So first, a secure connection has to be made for the HTTPS, the secure version of the HTTP. So once that secure connection has been made, then we can be able to use the HTTP protocol in order to send and receive the information on the web. So that's how the HTTPS basically comes into application. So the TCP/IP then comes in. All of it happens simultaneously, but only that the TCP/IP is like the underdog. It's down there doing its magic. So you find that without the TCP/IP, your data would be getting lost. Remember, the internet is a very the World Wide Web. The internet is the biggest network in the whole world, on this planet as we're talking right now. You find that your data that is being transmitted can easily get lost. Remember, data is transmitted in what we call data packets. It's being transmitted in data packets. So these data packets in most cases are divided into three. So you have the head, you have the tail, then you have the tag along. So you find that the IP ensures that the route where your data is going to pass, it determines the route where your data is going to use. The IP determines the route where your data is going to use, or your request that you're sending using the HTTP protocol, in order for it to reach its final destination. So it determines the route such that it reaches its final destination. So the TCP, the transfer control protocol, ensures that your data is transmitted reliably, and when it reaches there, it can be and it reaches in the correct order. So you don't want your data, after it being split into different packets, where you find this is 1, 2, and 3, then it ends up reaching the other side and it's 3, 1, and 2. So we don't want this to happen. We don't want this happening here. So that's why you have the TCP. So yeah, that is basically how your information is obtained from your Google search to obtaining the information from the server. So you also find that maybe one thing I need to add on is, in most cases, when you find like a link on YouTube, you find a link on YouTube where someone is linking you to a particular page or something, where you tap on it and it says like an error pops up, or it's saying the web service does not exist, something of that sort. That is because when you're connected to the internet, even a particular IP address by an ISP, an internet service provider. So you can have an internet service provider like MTN, Airtel for us in Uganda, and all that. Maybe like so these companies here give you an internet, they give you an IP address for a time which I'm not sure of. It can be weeks, it can be a day, or it can be any time. So if you're given that IP address for whichever period of time you're given that IP address, now that person had given you a link to a particular IP address. So by the time you clicked on that link, it found that the IP address that the ISP had given that person changed. That is why you couldn't access the information. So the IP address that was given to that person changed. That's why you couldn't get access to that information. That's why you find things like commercial websites servers, and yeah, majorly those commercial website servers and the big websites, online stuff that are owned by like legit companies. They have a static IP address. They have what is called a static IP address, in order to ensure that whenever, whichever time you come back, or maybe when you save a bookmark, on your browser, when you click on that bookmark again, you can be able to go back to that exact website that you're bookmarked. Else, if they didn't have a static address and they had a dynamic IP address, if they had a dynamic IP address, you'd find that when you click on that bookmark, it would take you to a wrong IP address, which doesn't have the information that you want, and in most cases it gives us an error. So yeah, so that's it guys for this video. So if you've learned something new, please give this video a thumbs up, and I hope to see you guys in the next one. Beast up.